I want to thank you for joining me again to my Slender Fam. I haven't really been talking a lot about relationships and dating, and I haven't been talking a lot about girlfriend advice or anything like that. So I wrote a list of things down that we didn't get to discuss. It's important that we all be realistic and have expectations and standards and all that. And I think that a lot of people in this space, they drift from having expectations and standards to not having any at all. The acceptance of pickup artists in this space was a major issue that brought upon, how do you call this? Nefarious activities within, these groups. There's like subgroups, I guess, that we receive any advice and take caution and realize who it's coming from and where it's coming from. To always bring the best out of that person and allow them to accept you and have, the the capacity to find something about you that they cherish, and it really, it makes an impression on somebody, getting to know you, who you really are, and you take that with you for the rest of your life, even if it's just the first impression. Like, you want them to go away knowing that this is a safe place for them, and knowing that they can talk to you and just call you up, and knowing that that you're available, really, because like if you're just coming up with a line and just like buying them a drink and just like you just ask for their number and don't call for like forever, like 8 days or something, it makes it an impression, and it makes you unavailable, aloof. It makes you seem like, oh, I'm not really interested, but I do have your number on my contacts, and it's like gonna be a waste of space if I don't use it, like, because it goes both ways. You did make an effort, or even though you did acknowledge that they were interested in you, it doesn't necessarily make them a priority in their eyes. For a female, it's very important, and for a man, especially in this atmosphere that we live in, I think it goes both ways. What I can tell you is just be open, be honest with yourself, and really, be determined when you're meeting somebody that you're gonna continue pursuing them, because at the end, we're all just people and we all have feelings. So that's my basic relationship advice. As far as modern women are concerned, dating modern women, it's just like for fun. You want to take somebody out to lunch, or you want to take somebody out to dinner, or you want to take them to drinks at the club, and and you're not really trying to risk anything. You're not really trying to pursue a serious thing. You're not really considering them as as love interests. They don't pursue prospects outside of that atmosphere. A lot of guys want a challenging. They want a challenge. They don't just want to meet somebody and then it's like easy. With modern women, you have expectations, but also be realistic and honest, because you call them this and then you expect something else, something more. So it's kind of wishy-washy way of dating. I think this is like somebody without values, and they're not grounded, and you can't build a foundation on something that doesn't exist. So high value men, I think a lot of men want to be considered high value. A lot of men would would like to be perceived as high value men. And I think that if that's something that you're working on, if something that you're looking forward to, um, you know, well, I guess even if you even if you're not there yet, then you're still worthy. You're still valued. And as far as the dating market's concerned, I think you're gonna be taken just as serious as somebody that's considered high value. You want to show off, and that everybody, I think that everybody is worthy. Traditional wives. A lot of men are talking about the passport bros, and traditional wives, and they want to go and find somebody from a third world country and find a traditional wife. We all know you don't have to go nowhere to get one. You can find on both sides of a border, even if it's an ocean, you can find a modern woman in a third world country. It's not like a high value man, like they buy things and they present things, and it's like a certain aesthetic even. But for modern women and traditional women, there's really no concept like that you can hold. I think it's something inside that switches on when they engage in relationshiping. And I don't think it's something that comes out when you're dating. I don't think it's something that comes out when you're making a first impression. You're talking to them and getting to know them and finding who they really are. We're not just gonna go and expose ourselves and be stigmatized right away. We're not gonna go and be vulnerable in front of people because we want some masochistic experience from the outside world. We don't want people to come in to our safe space and be like labeling us and boxing us and up, and we don't like you, we're gonna ship you out, and that's what I feel like the passport bros has become. They're looking for traditional women. That's fine, but you're like shipping yourself out of your own country, and I don't feel like that's something that I'm comfortable with, or that I believe in, or that I can say, hey, you know what, go ahead and do you. It's not like hotcakes. Nobody slangs these in a dark alley. Each relationship takes work, whether it's from a modern woman or a traditional woman. It's gonna take work. Realistic expectations in the dating, like when you're with somebody, like I could say that you get to know them, and you get to know what they are willing to participate in, what they're not. You get to know their limits. You get to know what boundaries and what you're comfortable with, and I think that's really a lot. How they say it's give and take 50-50, but really when you get to be comfortable with somebody and things just flow, things just work, I think you gotta leave with compassion, really, because when you take away who you are, and you're like a structured man, like you're, how they say, you got frame, you got all that, disassemble yourself to take away from your masculinity. You can't just walk away when you're feeling low, when you're not being yourself, when you're trying to let's say outdo the next guy in the dating market, and you're just trying to walk out. This person was really not of the same value that you esteem yourself to be, wanting to be the better half of. So when you just be yourself, continue being yourself, work on you, work hard on building your structure, because if you can just show the best side of yourself, then you don't have to prove it to nobody, and you don't have to work on your image as far as that's concerned, because your interpersonal relationships, exposed and out there, by the time you get to a point where it's like there's some static going on, or how people can be when they know it's like over. They don't want to be seen. Nobody wants to be seen in a negative light. So you make sure that you got yourself in check, and you'll be solid. It just flows. If it's not, and you'll be able to build together and be a family unit. Continue, you know, um, keeping a good face. So challenges in relationships, I'd say right now, like we have so many things going on, economic, finances, and even society and the modern world. I think so many things going on with even just nature, like the climate, like oh my, there's so many things going on, and there's so many challenges that can arise just from the world outside, and keeping your love interest interested, your expectations are challenged, communicating when you are in a relationship, that the challenges that you face, they're probably going to be along those lines. So I'd say when you are having static in a relationship, you don't just want to walk out. You don't just want to leave loose ends. You don't want to leave people wondering what happened, and you don't want to leave a bad impression. So always stay true to yourself mostly, but also, be open, be open to vulnerability, because you don't want to say, oh, wait, there's a challenge, and then you have to deal with it, you have to face it, but you don't want to because you're like worried about what you look like. This image was supposed to be, and it wasn't on point, and nobody's out here judging how you relationship. You just remember it's two, and it's two to tango. You gotta keep going at it. You gotta keep being the rock. You gotta keep being building that solid foundation. In the future, there's two of you. So in a relationship, when there is two of you and you're a family unit and there are challenges, you don't want to close the doors on something that exists and could potentially get over these little things and say, wow, you know what, that was hard, but look how easy we got through it. These little things that happen, they're building me up, because maybe one day I might face a harder challenge. You wanna keep a positive outlook. You wanna not look at it negatively. Then you're gonna start looking at the other person and pointing them out, even if it wasn't them that started the challenge or started the rocky, grounding. You don't want to point the finger and say you did this, and you certainly don't want to blame yourself, because there's two people involved, and you just gotta smooth things out. You just gotta keep working at them. The person that you pick should be a person that you want to keep going with, that you want by your side. You want somebody that's gonna take your back, and you don't have to work trying to keep that image that that everything's perfect when it's not. If it's something that you've been thinking about, that you've been dealing with, and let's say it's just a bad all around situation, you need to keep your mind right, because you gotta walk away from that. You need to be able to be strong enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm a man. My own situation is through. We're all just human. So just remember I said that. I was being silly this morning and wrote a couple of jokes.
If you say you're red pill because you called in Kevin Samuels and made a name for yourself in the States, namely Miami, right afterwards, if your street name is Outlaw and you just came out and exposed yourself while you were always on the run in the first place, if you're always in Dubai and you hate women that frequent the area, if you hate that women get preferential treatment in Hollywood and you highlight all our successful novellas, if you're a feminist and cook dinner before every live stream for your husband that tells you how he needs to be treated because your organization doesn't respect women who are considerate for our masculine counterparts, if you praise your cast and they are actually solicited outside and debate basic talking points that girls stink, if you slept on a bench and live in a 3-story penthouse because rich and give advice to married men about dating, if your firm belief is that family unit and you're still a coach to potential pickup artist clientele.
I was just being silly. So, letting go of toxic partners, trying to bring you into a negative situation when somebody's trying to run circles around you and, you know, trying to outdo you, like by how many obstacles they can throw in your way when somebody is trying to finesse you and hustle you out of, you know, a positive world. Like they just want to invade your safe space and just like bring out all the bad in you and not, you know, praise you when they fail to support you. That's not the type of person you want to build with. That's not the environment you want your family unit to be, you know, a part of. You don't want to partner with somebody that's going to bring your image into a negative cast. Like you want somebody that's going to uplift you, believe in you. It's not going to bring you happiness. It's not speaking success in your life. You know, you got to manifest these things. They don't want to be the better half. You got to let them go because they're going to be the underdog, and let them go run in the street then, you know. Let them go be a stray, you know. You're not a stray. You don't want to live like that. Well, you know what? Say, hey, you know what? I've had enough. And even if you just met them, you know what? Just let it go. Let's see. If you're single and, you know, I'd say good luck. If you're single and happy with being single, good for you. If you're single and looking, you know what? Don't give up. If you're single and just want to get married now, you know what? There's a lot of people like that. And in this space, you'll find that there's a lot of interest in that. Look at the passport bros. Like that's like a lot of, there's so many signs there, and they're in the dating market, or they're out there looking, or, you know, they're working on something, or they're not, you know, they're just high and living their best life and keeping the best image they could. And I just, you know, I have no judgments on any of that. And yeah, so shout out to MGTOW, because I guess, you know, that's a big part of that. And I don't know like what you guys would call people that are happy single. Take a step back and take a look at your outlook, the big picture, the the framework ahead of you, because it's a big deal. It's your life, your entire life, your future. It's gonna have another person involved. You're only responsible for you. And once you have a family unit, you're responsible for your family unit. If you're a man, this is you. This is your work. It's everything. That's why I think it's important that we talk about these things and keep the conversation going. So, I'm going to end this podcast, but I'll see you guys soon.